off to seek success away from the jungle.
Nice to meet you guys. Thank you.
The travelling Cats set to take on 5th place Brisbane Bullets tomorrow night.
They lost the last couple, so they'll come out pretty aggressive with Sobey and Glidden. They're two boomers in the team.
Currently second on the ladder with a 5-1 record, notching up wins away from home crucial for the Wildcats season.
So it's a really good test for us, these 4 games on the road, and hopefully by the halfway point of the season we're in a good position.
4-2, Bryce Cotton, right back at the Bullets, he shot him down!
With the 2 buzzer-beater wins in the past 2 seasons against the Bullets, Coach Gleeson is hoping the heroics of Bryce Cotton won't be required this time round.
Yeah, well, hopefully he doesn't get that close for a buzzer-beater, but if it is, I'm sure that Bryce will put his hand up to take the shot.
Sunday's game sees the Cats make the arduous trip across the ditch to Invercargill. New Zealand Breakers star and NBA potential RJ Hampton one to watch.
He's very smooth and very poised for such a young guy.
Touted as a top 5 pick in next year's NBA draft, the 18-year-old is starting to build momentum with a career-high 14 points last week.
Hampton for 3.
The Cats back on their home court in 2 weeks' time, once again facing the New Zealand Breakers. Ashley Nelson for 10 News First.
There's a chance, Kelly.
From a cat to an eagle, a deal a year in the making.
It's been a long process. It hasn't been the last 2 days. Negotiations, it's been over 12 months. So to get it done early in the week as well, and we can move on pretty quickly.
Gun midfielder Kelly started at South Fremantle. He was originally overlooked by West Coast in 2017 after finishing runner-up in the Sandover Medal. How times change.
Does he go for the all or nothing? He does. Got it to Ben magnificently. Kelly kicks the goal.
Something that my mind's been made up for quite a long time now. Really, I've just always just felt like this was it. This is the right environment. For myself, my family.
The 25-year-old All-Australian came at a high cost to the Eagles, who gave up 3 picks in this year's draft and a first-round selection in 2020.
I've spent the last 3 or 4 years through the draft. We've got some good young talent coming through. So we understand to keep our list together, you've got to give up picks, and that's what we've done.
But for Kelly, this was about more than football. 2 of his 3 sons have autism. He and his partner Caitlin keen to return home where there's more support.
Really emotional, both for myself, Caitlin, the family, and ultimately we know we've made the right decision.
Ashley Nelson, ECU News. The Fremantle Dockers have seen the back of Ross Lyon, but Paul Hazelby says with the right appointment, the club can move forward.
It is crucial that you find a coach that is willing to be maybe a little bit more patient for one more year. And I did feel under Ross Lyon's tenure and also Steve Rossich, because of the decision to extend for 4 years, they probably rushed the rebuild a little bit with some of the decision making they made around the players they brought in.
Justin Longmuir is the bookies' favourite to secure the gig, having played 139 games for the club between 1999 and 2007.
To take his kick.
Longmuir has spent the past 2 seasons with the Magpies, rounding out a 10-year coaching apprenticeship as backline coach. The man they call JL has even been credited with the Magpies' superb run to last year's AFL Grand Final.
So often, the big goal at the big time.
Former Kangaroos coach Brad Scott, WA's Peter Sumich, and even Essendon boss John Worsfold are rumoured to be among the candidates. Current players Nat Fyfe and Michael Walters took to social media to praise the outgoing coach. Fremantle assistant David Hale will take the reins for the Dockers' final match of the season against Port Adelaide on Sunday. Ashley Nelson, ECU News. Greater Western Sydney Grand Final hopes may rest on the outcome of tomorrow's Special Appeal Board, which will decide Toby Green's fate. The forward was originally reported for making unreasonable contact to the eye of Brisbane midfielder Lachie Neale. The AFL tribunal earlier in the week upheld the decision to ban him. It follows a similar incident with Western Bulldog Marcus Bontempelli, where Green escaped with a $7,500 fine. The undermanned Giants have a tall task ahead to reach their first ever grand final. The AFL's youngest club up against the mighty Collingwood with all their tradition and 16 premierships. The match gets underway just after 2:30 on Saturday. There's nothing young about Richmond and Geelong, two of Victoria's oldest teams going head-to-head at the MCG on Friday from 6 p.m. Between them, almost 300 years of history and close to 30 premierships. Geelong will be a man down playing the Tigers without veteran forward Tom Hawkins, who was suspended earlier in the week for striking West Coast Will Schofield. Ashley Nelson, ECU News.